All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Juliana, are you there with me?
Good morning. I sure am.
Awesome. So I am Sadie Werfline. I am the community manager here at Mortar.
And I'm Juliana Argis. I'm the social strategist here at Mortar. I will be hanging out with all of you in the comments and the Q&A panel today. So feel free to leave notes and questions and anything there. And Sadie and I will do our best to answer those as we go or at the very end.
Right. Yes. So welcome to our Mortar Minutes webinar. Today, we are going to be talking about design rooms. So before we get started, just a couple housekeeping notes for everybody. So everybody's line is muted and your video is disabled. So if you are frantically trying to cover your webcam because you're on a Zoom event, don't worry, your video is disabled. So we can't hear you or see you, but like Jules said, she's going to be monitoring both the Q&A and the chat feature. So depending on how your screen is formatted with the tools, you should be able to see it. Mine's at the bottom. I think it could also be at the top or the side, but feel free to engage with either one of those options if you have questions or any comments, anything you want to share throughout the webinar. We'll be keeping an eye and answering them as we go, and then we'll also just make sure to check in at the end that we've answered all questions. And we are recording this webinar today, and we'll share the link to that recording with everybody who's registered after the webinar is complete. So if there's anything that you want to go back to, or if you want to share this with any of your colleagues, you'll be able to do so pretty easily. So let's jump in and just kind of talk about what we're doing here today. So first, we want to start by thanking everybody for taking some time, taking a half hour of your day to spend it with us. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. And we also just want to say we hope everybody is staying healthy and sane and happy with everything that is going on. It's a crazy world we are living in right now. And I know at this point, everybody is probably working, hopefully working still, or working remote or in a different way than usual. So we're going to talk about how we can kind of help supplement that now. We're going to mostly be looking at design rooms today. We'll get started by taking a quick look at a few of the other features that are on the site, but we're going to spend the majority of our time today actually digging into our design rooms tool. We'll go over some of the features within design rooms, and then we'll offer up some ideas about different ways that you can actually take advantage of this tool and different things you can do with it. So again, knowing that most people are working remote and adjusting to what is now your new normal. Hopefully this many weeks in, it feels a little bit normal. So along with that, I know a lot of us are, you're relying 100% on technology to keep your work life, your professional life going, and probably even a little bit in your personal life. So I don't know if anybody out there has recently been in a Zoom meeting with their parents. Amy Peterson, Mortar co-founder, I'm talking to you. She just shared a picture last night of herself teaching her parents and their friends how to Zoom, which was so cute. But as we do that, we talk through some of these tools today. I hope that some of the stuff that we share with you, you can pick it up and it will help you with that, and specifically with the ways that you're interacting with your coworkers, your colleagues, and even your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And really our hope is that any of the efficiencies, I think we can hope for this in all aspects of life, but specifically with the Mortar platform, any efficiencies or benefits that you pick up while you're working remotely, that you can then carry that back to the office with you whenever that time eventually comes. And hopefully our platform helps with some of that innovation that we're going to see from all of this.
Exactly. And hopefully that time is coming.
Yeah.
It does feel very far away at times. So that said, yeah, I think I just flipped over. Jules, can you see my screen here?
Yeah, looks great, Sadie.
Great. So yeah, I just flipped over right to the site. So we'll start by, we'll take a quick look at some of the features and the tools you can find on Mortar. I'm going to show you a little bit about finding inspiration. So if nothing else, when you're on Mortar, we hope that you're inspired by some of the really beautiful images and the projects that you're finding. This is a time when you can't do that exploration of beautiful commercial spaces physically. So you can click around Mortar. You can find some really great stuff out there that's been being showcased by a lot of these amazing companies that are on Mortar, that are sharing their work on Mortar. We'll talk a little bit about sourcing, specifying, and even requesting samples for specific products. So we'll show you how our product tagging feature can make that a little bit easier for you with some direct links to some of the information that you need. And then once we get over to design rooms, we'll talk about how you can stay connected with your teams directly through that tool. So right here on the homepage, before I dig any deeper, I do always just like to show you how our search works. So we have this search bar that you're going to find on every page of Mortar, and whether you have just a really general idea of what you're looking for, a really specific idea, you can type your search in here, and there's different ways that you can navigate that. So I'm just going to search for office seating today, and what's going to come up is I have options how I want to browse the results. Do I just want to look at pictures? I can go right to photos. That's going to take me to images where they've narrowed down the search within those images to match my office seating, the trays that I looked for. Professionals. So when we look at the companies that are showcasing their work on Mortar, we classify them as professionals or brands. Professionals would be those who are providing services. So sometimes that might mean like your architects, your designers, contractors, subcontractors. In this case, when I look at what I searched, office seating, these are most likely going to be manufacturers, reps, dealers, even designers who work around that. And then brands, these are your actual manufacturers. So if I want to go directly in and look at one of these companies, the manufacturer, I can do that. So I'm actually, just to give you an idea of how our profiles work, I'll click into one of these and we'll visit this profile for Eclectic. They make some really beautiful, really unique furniture. Just a little plug for Eclectic there. I always love their pictures. So looking at our company's profiles, they're all really structured the same way. So it starts with a little bit about the company, about what they do. This is a sneak peek of some of the projects or showrooms that they're showcasing on Mortar. And then over here on the right, this is how you can connect directly with them. So whether I want to call them, I want to go right over to their website, or I can click this message us, and this allows me to just launch an email message directly to that company. And then of course I can also navigate right to their social media pages at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, and that's going to look the same on every single profile of a professional or a brand. It's kind of like the Spark Notes. I'm sure none of you use those in high school. It's kind of like the Spark Notes of Mortar, of a company. It's everything that you want to know digested into one place.
You got it. That's exactly right. And then the showroom tab is really just how I can browse really specific showrooms or projects that they're showcasing. So that said, I'm going to click over to our inspiration page. This is our photo feed. So this is where all of the cool projects that the companies showcasing their work on Mortar, all of their pictures that they've put into those projects, they all load in here to the photos in the inspiration page. So when you come in, you can see we have the search bar at the top. And then you also have some filtering options here. So if you just want to browse, this is a continuous scroll, so you're able to do that. I'll try to not make you sick and scroll around too much, but you also can filter down. So maybe you know that you want to look at hospitality, and maybe for sure you want to look at lobbies and get some ideas. You can even select specific product types that you want to look at, but that will narrow down the results of what you're seeing. Or like I said, you can just type in your really specific search. So once you are in the photos and you find a photo that you like, you can just, you can click into it and learn more about that image, that project, or what's being featured in that image. So in this case, I just clicked into this image. This is posted by Heartland. And they gave a description here of what is the space that I'm looking at, so they gave me a description so I have an idea. And then down here on the right-hand side, you can see project contributors. These are other pros who are also on Mortar that also worked on this project. So if I want to get an idea of how this project came together, I can see by looking at this, who is the architect, who is the contractor, and some of these other companies that worked on it. And then these are all live links right to those companies' profiles. Additionally, you can see all these white dots on these images, or on this image, and these are our product tags. So I mentioned this in the intro that one of the ways that we really want to help you with Mortar is to, shorten that process of, if you are a person who sources product, or you need the technical information or the technical details behind those products, this makes it a little bit easier for you. So I clicked into this tag, and you can see, again, here's some information about this light, which is by Focal Point. This is, of course, a link directly to Focal Point's profile. And then in addition, right here in the tag, without even leaving the tag, I can click this more product information. Is going to be a link to a product page with Focal Point. I can click this view BIM, actually links directly. We have a partnership with BIM Object. So Focal Point also works with BIM Object, and they store all their BIM files out there. So this would take me to the BIM file specifically for this light. Additionally, here is a link directly to the specifications if I wanted to load that. And then I can also click the send a message button, and that actually lets me just type my name, my information in, and send a message. I can just type a message in here and send it right from this tag. So these are some of the ways that we're making it a little bit easier to gather information and connect with that company right from this picture that Heartland has posted. Sometimes we see where, in this case, Heartland, they have tagged other products within their images. We see sometimes that happen, designers, architects, subcontractors, they're putting pictures of their projects in, and they're giving information about how that project came together. We also find it really valuable with our brands, our manufacturers on the site, that they place these tags on their products within the images and give all of that information right there, so you don't have to go to another page on their site to find it. So,
yeah. And Sadie, would you really quickly go over just the few other options that you have when you're in an enlarged image like this, the following, yeah, and the buttons at the bottom there?
Yeah, for sure. So, yep. So following this, we have a follow feature on Mortar. So I'm actually following Heartland as a company, and I'll show you when I go over to my personal profile, I'll show you what that looks like. And then, yeah, down here, just some opportunities I can star it. That's like a like, show them some love for this particular project. And then sharing exactly what you might think gives you different options to share the image. And then save is what actually lets you put this right into your design room. So I will do that. I have several design rooms, all made for demonstration purposes, but I'll just go ahead and save this, and then I'll just add my note. Here's my note for this one. Let's pretend I put a real meaningful note in there, and then I'm going to add that into my design room. And then I'll also come back to that and show you where that lives and how I can get back to that image. All right, and then, before I go over to the design rooms, I do want to show a couple of other pictures that I think are really, or a couple of features that are really helpful. So, sorry, there was one I wanted to share. So, while I click around here, this is from Crossville. So this is an example of this brand is representing through their tags their own product. So I can see more information from Crossville about this cursive line in this picture that I'm looking at. One of the other tools that you'll find in some of our brand tags is this order sample button here. This actually is part of our partnership with Material Bank. So anybody on the call who is a designer, works in that realm, you might be familiar with Material Bank. Maybe you use that site. So that's a site that allows designers to go in and sample all of the different products that they need to sample. And so we've formed a partnership with them that allows you to really just do a one click here that takes you right over to that product page, and actually takes you right to the page you need to order this specific samples. So that's just another way that we've tried to shorten that process and just make it a little bit easier and more convenient for our users to get the data and the information that they need. All right, Jules, anything else you want to add before we just jump over to my profile?
No, I love it. I think we can go right into design rooms, and you can clear out those notifications.
So now it's become a bit of a joke. So I like to leave my notifications. Jules is the kind of person that gets anxiety by seeing those 40 unread notifications. Now I can't clear them out because it would give you too much satisfaction. So And just so everybody knows, those notifications are all around. I have several design rooms, and you have the ability to share comments within the design room. So they're all telling me, you know, that somebody's made a comment or added a new picture. And I have my preferences set to tell me every time that happens. I also get an email. So I usually click into them directly through the email. So here we're looking at my personal profile. If you don't already have a personal profile in Mortar, please go create one. It's free, it's private, there's literally no strings attached. So our personal profiles are unlike our company. Our company profiles let everybody see your work. You know, that's where companies are able to showcase what they're doing, and all the pictures that they post are out there and viewable to everybody who arrives at Mortar. The personal side, or the personal profiles, are just the exact opposite. So you can come out here, you can't search for me, I can't search for you. We can collaborate within design rooms by inviting one another, and I'll show you how that works. But everything else that I'm doing here is really private. So I've chosen to follow some companies on Mortar, and this is where I can recall those right here on my dashboard. And these are all direct links to those companies' profiles. I can also see a collection of the images that were most recently added by the companies that I'm following. So I can page through here and see, you know, obviously I can see Barnlight has posted a new project with some really pretty pictures. So if I want to go in and view those, I certainly can. And then here are the images that I have starred. Again, this is just a scroll where I can feed through and see all of the different images that I've starred as I've been browsing around on Mortar.
Yeah, as you head into design room, Sadie, I just want to point out it's free to all users, anyone in the industry, not in the industry. There's absolutely no limitations on who can create an individual profile, and we highly encourage, even if your company is not on the website, which we hope they are, and we would love to have them, that you go out and create these individual profiles for yourself and for your team members, and hopefully these design rooms kind of show you why.
Yep, exactly. And, you know, just to expand on that a little bit more, we didn't, you know, this webinar being really specifically about design rooms, we didn't spend a lot on, you know, the what and why, but I always like to point out that Mortar is for anybody and everybody who works within commercial construction and design. So whether you are on the company side of that, so whether you work for one of the firms that does these projects or manufactures the products that are used in those projects, or maybe you're on the consumer side of it. So maybe you are a business owner, you're a developer, you're a facilities manager, you're somebody who's responsible for, or you're going to have a project, or you continuously have projects, you can use this. So it's for everybody. And these personal profiles are really where you kind of customize your Mortar experience, and within these design rooms is a way that you can use the tool in the way that best suits you and what you're doing on Mortar. So here we are. I've landed in design rooms. So really quick, before I navigate through them too much, I'll just give you an idea of what a design room is. So think of it, it's like a board, really. So design room's just a place where you can save any of the pictures that you're finding on Mortar, and then you can also save pictures or even documents like PDF documents from outside of Mortar. So it's one place where you can, you know, store all of this information, and you can include notes as you're putting the images in. You saw I typed a quick little note in the image I saved from the photos. And then it also allows you to share, invite other people, and if you'd like to, and even have comments. So there's a chat feature built within them. So it's just a place for you to share information and with yourself or even with other people, like I said. So I'm going to switch the view. I have quite a few design rooms. So again, because I do a lot of demonstration and giving ideas, but you're not limited to the number of design rooms. So you can see mine starts with design rooms I own. So these are ones that I started. And then there's design rooms I'm in. And that's a group of, a lot of them, a group of design rooms that other people invited me to be in. So that's how our site organizes them. I can reorganize these if I can hit edit, and I can, you know, I can alphabetize them or flip them to whatever order that I need. I put it in the list view just for the sake of scrolling through, but then you can also have it in the grid view, and it's easier to see just kind of a preview of what lives within each particular design room. So just by clicking anywhere within here, I can open the design room. You notice these pictures before I came in, and you can see them here again. In this particular design room, I've invited other people to collaborate with me. And you don't have to do that. If I didn't have any other collaborators on this design room, you wouldn't see any images there. I started with a description. You can do the same. So if you're going to create a design room and invite some other people to it, here's where you would have the opportunity to tell them what's the purpose of this? What am I trying to accomplish here? You can invite by just clicking this little plus, and you just enter an email address to invite somebody.
And they do not have to already be on the site to get they will receive an invitation via email, and then they can create that free individual profile just by that invite.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. And then you can see down here, I have a kind of a random collection of content in one of my mini sample design rooms. And you can see this one here is a rendering. I have a drawing. A lot of these images did come right from Mortar. So I mentioned that before. You can load in images from outside of the site. So I can just click add files. And here I have the option to, just like you know, when you're adding images to any other application, you can load it from your device. You can browse around Mortar. You can put a link in. By clicking into one of these images, you can see what data is attached to it. So one thing I love is when you are saving anything to your design room from Mortar, it's always going to retain the data that's attached to it. So I can see everything that you'll recognize this layout from the photo feed when we were looking at the pictures earlier. I can see everything that was already included. I can link directly to Surfacing Solutions profile. I can click in, this has a tag, so I can click right into the tag. Now, if I'm ready to order the sample, I can still do those same actions from my design room that I was able to do when I located this image on Mortar. And then you can see on the right side, we have some conversation going on here. So you can see you're able to post comments. You can do an @ mention. You can see in this case, there's an @ mention. That's just going to change the way that that user is notified of that message. Just like, again, similar applications where, you know, this one really is about me, I better get in there. You can see here, Jules has attached a document. So you have some flexibility in how you can share that conversation. And then from there, I'm going to run down. I want to show you another option. You see that we have the chat on a photo level. And then we also have the chat feature really on a design room level. So maybe the conversation or the comment that you have isn't specifically about one of the images that's in there. Maybe it's about the project in general, or in this case, we're talking about setting a meeting. So you do have the ability to put that comment and again, do the @ mention without actually specifically grabbing an image to do that. Jules, anything? Oh, I want to show you our exporter option. So this gives you the ability to move your design room into a presentation mode. And you can do that with or without the comments. So I'll go ahead and choose with comments. And this just lets you really flip through essentially like a slideshow and share these images. So we'll talk a little bit about some of the different ways you can use design rooms in a moment. And this will make a little bit more sense at that point.
Yeah. Would you go into that lobby lighting photo, Sadie? We can kind of just do a rundown of.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, why don't I just start? I want to give some examples of the different ways that you can use design rooms. So first and foremost, it's just, like I said, it's just a place to save stuff. So save something that's inspired you. So maybe you're just really exploring, clicking around. You don't have a specific project you're working on. You just simply see something that you like and you want to get back to it. You save it to your design room and it saves all of its information. But then another idea is you could really use this like a digital pinup board. So you can, use it to put in the pictures that inspire you. You can gather anything that's from Mortar, from outside of Mortar, group it all together, and it lives really, it's like one board where everything is as living and the data is all there together. Like I said, you can add comments within the image or within the project, so you can share what your feelings are, invite somebody else so they're able to see that. And remember, like, the image retains its information. So here again, we have the ability to click right into those tags. Another way to use your design room is really sharing inspiration that you have. So maybe it's something for a project or just an aspect of a project. So you can share that with other people. So whether you have that inspiration already when you started using Mortar, or if you found it on Mortar, put the information into your design room, and then it just lets you organize and share that vision with your team. And then it really lets them do the same. So again, here, like if you're looking, we have a little conversation going on this particular this lighting and this image, and you can see maybe you're kind of setting the stage, or you're helping manage their vision and expectations. So you can guide them really specifically to something that fits within the scope of your vision for that, or the scope of the scope for that project. So maybe you're looking really specifically at a space, or like this case, we're looking specifically at this lighting. It just lets you kind of have that conversation in one place and organize that. And you can use it to guide your client, if you will, to a really specific product or really specific brand that fit within that scope.
Absolutely. And you can kind of see from that dialogue that on the side, Sadie and Abby have said that they want to move forward, get more information from OCL on this specific product. And so then, Sadie, would you just show what that looks like? You can actually message OCL right from that product tag.
Mm-hmm.
I think you kind of went through this a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
But you can put right in there name.
As soon as you start typing in here, yep, your message is customized.
Yeah, tell us you're not a robot, and then they will get a notification on the platform, as well as an email, so that they can start communicating with you or whoever you need them to on your team.
Yep, exactly.
Just another great easy button, which we all need a little bit more.
The more of those we have in our lives, the better.
Yep.
Another way that you can use your design room is really to share. So we talked about, you're sharing your vision with others. You can use it to really collect their vision as well. So maybe you want to get their inspiration. So you create a design room, you invite, maybe it's your client that you invite to it, and you ask them to share something with you, or share any inspirational images that they have about that project, or any vision that they have. So like in this case, maybe they've said, yep, you know what, we want a table like this with outlets in it. This is the kind of thing we're looking for. And then you can take the conversation from there to just really get their ideas, and maybe save yourself a little bit of time in the length of the project. Sorry, we're really I'm running out of time here. So I want to touch on a few other things with design rooms. Project management. So this is definitely a tool that you can take from a project management perspective, take it right to the job site. So we have a mobile app that lets you really load images really easily into your design room. So you can snap a picture right from the job site. Maybe there's been an installation that's happened and you want to share that with the team. Maybe you need a quick decision on something, they need to know right now, option A or option B. Send that through your design room, use the app to load it in, or even just through our mobile site, and share those conversations. That way it keeps it out of your email and lets people act on things a little bit quicker. And then lastly, I really want to touch on sales. So this is one that I find kind of the most unexpected, but we've definitely heard a lot of clever ways that sales teams are using design rooms, and just want to share with everybody. So whether or not your company is on Mortar, you as a sales rep could really create a design room, and you could fill it with images and data that you need to share with a prospect. So maybe it's maybe the portfolio that you want to share with that particular prospect isn't exactly what's on the company's website or in their Mortar profile, or maybe they're not current images, or you want some more in-process type pictures. Whatever it is, you can create your own custom collection of images that you want to share with them, and include data with each of them. And then you can either use our export feature that I shared, or you can actually just go ahead and invite that client, or invite the group of clients, and have them actually participate in the design room and share commentary with you that way. So we have heard of a couple of our subscribers have told us stories about using those. It's a great way to keep things together in one, in a collection that's specific to that particular sales rep, or multiple design rooms, and using multiple collections. And then you can repurpose them. So whatever your use is for your design room, if you choose, if you want to remove some of the collaborators, add new collaborators, swap out the content, that's really easy to do. So always keep in mind that it is really easy to repurpose them and share again with a new group of people. So Yeah, these are just some ideas. However you use them, just it's an easy way to get your thoughts and your visuals out there and let people weigh in and maybe save yourself from one more Zoom meeting, especially right now where we're not able to do those in-person meetings. Hopefully just streamlining your workflow a little bit. Jules, any questions or anything you would like to add?
No, you know, we've seen so many different types of uses, and so this isn't, obviously this is not an exhaustive list, but just a really great starting place for your team and how you can be using it. We do have a question if you want to do that, Sadie. Can you move images around in your design rooms? Are you able to click and drag those at this time?
You are not at this time, so that's a great question. You can move your design rooms around, but at this point you can't yet move them. That is on our list of enhancements. So we are continuously working to make your experience better at Mortar. So we appreciate that question because it goes right to that conversation, but that is something that's coming.
Absolutely. And this is, you know, this is a tool that's free. It's for anyone in the commercial construction design industry. You don't need a software. You don't have to, you know, you're not downloading this heavy software to a laptop. Like Sadie said, we have the app. This can really, you know, when you're allowed to go outside, this can really go anywhere with you. And so, you know, Mac, PC, doesn't matter what you're working on. It's really a very flexible, easy tool that is wherever you are.
Yep, exactly. And, you know, that kind of brings us to the question brings us to feedback. So we at Mortar, we're a newer site and we are continuously developing and continuously trying to find different ways that Mortar can suit the needs of our audience. So we want to hear from you. So our emails, you should have actually probably both Juliana and my own email from the invite or from the opening page. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime and let us know what you think. You can also connect with us directly on the site through our chat feature or through the connect within the footer of mortar.com. We would really love to hear what you think and how you might use it and what additional functions or features would make it even better for you.
Absolutely. And one more comment that came in, I love this, Joyce. It says, it seems like it might also be really valuable for a professor to have students use on projects. I was going to touch on this, so I'm so glad you brought it up.
Yes, like a planted comment, but it's not.
Yeah. So thank you, Joyce. But we had really great success we did an initiative back in the fall called Mortar in the Classroom, and saw a lot of professors and students utilizing the platform, especially now with classes moving online. You know, how do you do those presentations? How do you get input from your professor or your teacher as you're working on these projects in real time? And it was just so cool to see students and their peers and everyone being able to join in on that conversation to utilize the platform for that. So I love that so much. Yeah, so good. That would be a great opportunity for you and your students, Joyce. I love that.
Most definitely. Any other questions that have come in, Jules?
I think one more. If you can import images from the outside, can you build your logo into your rooms? I don't see, are you talking about adding, you could certainly add your logo to the image that you're bringing in, Michael, if that's the question that you're asking. So absolutely, each image could have your logo on it if that is what you choose to upload into the design room.
Yeah, and yep, and it's just like any other, you know, where you're able to just select, as long as it's an image file, it can go in there. So whether you've already built it into the image before you're putting in, or it's its own image that you want to represent within, you're able to do that. Good question.
So good. Yeah.
All right.
I think that's all we have for now, but like Sadie said, please reach out. I'm on all of our social channels, so if it's easy to shoot a message there, do that. You know, you have our emails, you can contact us on the website, whatever is easiest for you. We'll also send out, we're doing our annual survey right now, and I'll be sure to include that link on the follow-up to this with the recording of the webinar. We're always looking for more input of, you know, what tools you could use, how can we make this better for you and your team, and, you know, any questions that you have. So excited for everyone that was able to join us today. And feel free to share that recording with any of your colleagues if this is something you feel like you and your team could benefit from.
Absolutely. Thank you again, everybody, for your time. Stay well, and we look forward to connecting with you at some point in the future.
Yeah, thanks so much.